What's going on, everybody? We are back here with a little bonus, a flex bonus episode, if you will. We are going to be looking at Flexbone normal still, but going over some of the pass plays we can do out of there, some of the hot routes, some adjustments, as well as doing just a real quick kind of defensive overview. I know I've gotten a few comments asking to kind of go over what we do here with Navy on defense, so we'll be doing that as well. We're going to be doing this in practice mode because it is going to be much easier for me to actually talk and say what's going on than in a game. So let's hop in there and go over a few things. So for gameplay on this, we are going to be streaming this coming Thursday, August 1st, Twitch, 5 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/oldmantrying28. We are trying to get that to 50 followers. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers here on YouTube, and then we are going to do a big celebration stream. You guys can pick teams I play. We'll play against each other, all that kind of good stuff. So if you could, go drop a follow over there. Subscribe here if you haven't. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get into some Flexbone normal. This is, again, all we're going to be looking at. So first play we're going to look at X-Dig, my favorite. If you've watched any of my other Flexbone gameplay videos, you know I call this play a lot. I really like this play. It's the perfect play if they're calling man blitzes. If you've got them so concerned about the run, they're just sending their linebackers, sending their safeties, blitzing everybody, getting everybody else in man coverage. This play is going to kill them. So we are going to put them in, let's see, we're just picked Air Force. We're going to do 3-3 stack, something like LB Blitz 0. So this is something people actually try to call. To stop all your runs you're doing at a Flexbone normal. Now this is going to depend on who you're using. Obviously, I prefer Navy. I think they're the best team for this. The whole scheme we like to do here. But the main read here is going to be the drag. So for us, that is Chapman. We could flip it and do it Heidenreich, but Chapman works a lot better on this drag route. The other thing we could do, Kent. This is another reason we use Navy. Army has something very similar. Very fast wide receiver. We only got one. That's all we really need. For us, it's Kent. I think he's 96 speed. Army's is 97. So we can put him. I don't like this route he's on this play. It's kind of like a delayed in. He goes straight up, then almost a post, and then just comes in. It takes a long time to set up. So we just hot route him into a deep cross. So now this is what our play art looks like. And if you don't know how to hot route, assuming everybody watching this does, but just in case, you just hit Y, that'll bring up your wide receivers. You select who you want to hot route. In this case, it's X for Kent, and then you just pick your hot route. The one on the right is your D-pad, so it's right on the D-pad, puts him in a deep cross. So pretty much just going to run this play like this, and first read is Chapman. If it's man in a blitz, Chapman is going to get open. So we're going to snap it, Chapman, open, gets around the corner. We'll try to juke him out a little bit there too. But that's me your first read there. If you have the Chapman on that drag, take it. If it's single coverage with no safety help, you can score 80-yard touchdowns on this play. It's so good. So good. So we'll do it one more time here. I kind of want to try to hit Kent just to try it out, but our offensive line isn't very good, so I don't think they're going to hold up very well against the blitz. We can block Texa, and we'll see if that helps. And again, this is just like hot routing. Anybody who doesn't know why, select your running back, RB, fitting in this case, and then right trigger or R2, pass block. So now he's blocking. He's not on his little delayed curl route, and that's also how you can cancel a play action. If you're calling a play action pass and you don't want, the whole animation, you can just block your halfback or even just put him out on a different route, and it'll get rid of that play action animation. All right, so we are going to look for Kent on the deep cross. I don't know if this O-line's going to have it in him. Oh, they do. Oh, they do. Oh, we need a better ball for me there, Horvath. But you can see, if you can get the time, that Kent having that one super speedy receiver is so good. And another thing we could do, it's going to depend on the defense here. I only have the one controller. I can't really adjust the defense at the same time. But imagine, use your imaginations with me here for a second. If they were in something like a press man, we could just put Kent on a streak. And even if he has, a single high safety or something, he has got to have to choose between Heidenreich and Kent, and then you can just lob it up to Kent because he is so fast. That's why when we're using Navy, another reason we want to play Tier 3 teams, we want to take advantage of whatever speed advantage that we might have. Oh, and real quick, before I forget, a lot of these plays you cannot hot route anybody. So that's why we're just focusing on a couple here. Like this counter option, you can't hot route anybody. Fake rocket toss, I don't believe you can hot route anybody. So there's quite a few plays in here we can't hot route anybody, and we can't motion anybody. So we got to kind of deal with what we got. And I know we could, eventually we'll probably start doing some different formations, but what I like about just staying in Flexbone normal is it just keeps them guessing. Like, we're in the same formation all the time. Oh, sorry, I picked Flood. That's the play we're going to look at here is Flood. And we'll put them in, what's something we see a lot? Cover 3, cover 4. We'll do cover 4. That's fine. Cover 4 drop out of 3-3 stack. But Flood, we like this play because we can hot route. So what we're going to do, this is my idea. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know before the stream on Thursday. I'm open to trying things. I want to pass the ball more. We're still going to be mainly focused on running, but opening up these pass options I think is going to help a ton. So this route on Chapman right now, I hate this route. It takes way too long. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. So we're going to do Y, A, hit right on the right stick. We're just going to put him in a basic corner route. Heidenreich, as he is right now, that little blue thing, he's going to come in motion and just become a blocker. We don't really want him to do that. We're going to send him on a streak. So now we'll have Chapman on that right sideline. Remember, we picked cover 4. So that outside linebacker is going to go out in the flat zone over on the right. He's got to choose between Chapman or Texa because Myers, our streak on the right, is a clear out route for that deep zone. So that deep quarter is going to be following Myers, so there's going to be room underneath him and only one defender there in the flat to try to defend both guys. Then why we streak Heidenreich, that should open up Kent on his deep inside post if we get the time. That's the big issues if we get time. So let's see how this flood play works as it is. We can just go Texa here once he gets out. So you see that one linebacker over there had to follow the corner route, and that left Texa, he just ended up getting caught on the line, but it left Texa wide open. So that's going to be the play art that I think we're going to be rocking with here. And it's just the way, because just the play we called, we're going to be probably throwing this to Texa more often. I'm going to try to get one to Kent here. See? That's what I was talking about with the other play too. That's exactly what I was talking about with that X-dig play. With that streak on Heidenreich, it's going to open up right beneath him for that deep post from our boy Kent over there. So now if we wait, we might be able to get Chapman, but that outside linebacker's been following him pretty well. Yeah, see. He was just following that one, so we got to go underneath. I was just trying to force one into Chapman there when I really shouldn't. But I think this is a pretty good play. It's a basic flood concept on the right, right? You got the short flat, intermediate flat, and then a deep clear out. And then we have Kent and Heidenreich over on the left to hopefully create some room to get the ball to our speed boy Kent. That's going to be the idea. I think this makes sense. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys have any different things you'd want me to try. But that's where we're at right now. I think we got one more pass play we can look at here. So now in this Flexbone normal, there's really only 2 other plays we can even have the option of hot routing like I was talking earlier. So we have X-dig, we have flood, we can do all go. I don't particularly love it. I know there was a comment about if they're in cover 3, all go is all great. So if we recognize somebody in cover 3, we will try it. But there's not a ton of hot routes I'm going to do on that. I think we'd run that pretty much as is. The other one we can do here, fake fullback toss, roll out right. It's a bit of a mouthful. We will do this one against cover 3 because this is going to kill cover 3. So this is another thing. Kind of if we don't want to try all go, we can try this. So we can see single high safety up on the top, right? So that's an indication they're either in man coverage, like a cover 1, or cover 3. So if we know they're in a cover 3, what do we want to do? I'm going to streak Chapman. So we're still going to have 3 streaks on the field, and then Kent, our speed boy, coming across on kind of a medium cross, deepish to medium cross. So other than that, we could put Texa on something if we really wanted to, maybe just a little out over here just as a check down option. I'd probably actually put him up to the right as a check down option. Kind of create almost like a little flood concept again. So we have the short flat over there, then we're going to have the deep crosser, everyone else going deep, just to try to kind of suck those deep zones back and open up room for Kent coming across the field. So the idea on this is going to be, if we can get time, wait for Kent to get kind of past the right hash mark, then he should be open. So let's see how it works. All right. We can't guard a 3-man pass rush. We can't guard a 3-man pass rush. So we're going to streak Chapman. Let's try just blocking Texa just to give us the time to see if this opens up against the cover 3. So drop back with Horvath. Guys, please, please, give me a second here. Buy me some time. Let's maybe keep the little fake toss. Sure. There we go. Buy some time. Here comes X. Here comes X. Here comes X. There he is. Okay. Okay. So maybe we keep the little play action on this one, keep that toss. It seemed to keep the defenders away. So just streak Chapman. Again, plays is just looking like this. As long as we have time, that's going to be the big issue here, though, is we know this is going to beat cover 3. Can we get the time for that to get open? So it takes a little while. This one we're only going to call in very specific instances, but I think I like this one. I think I like this one. Let's see, does any of these streaks get open? I haven't even looked at that yet. Let's see. No, no, not really. But, okay, good ball, Horvath. But we don't really need him to. So these are the 3 pass plays we're going to be focusing on and mixing in during our next gameplay with Navy here coming up on Thursday. I think that's a good enough base for us. Like I said, we're still going to be mainly focused on running, but this is going to give us a few more options. We're going to try it out, see how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to switch over to defense. We're going to talk about that really, really quick. So by far the favorite formation I've tried so far is 3-3 stack. This is another reason I like to use Navy. I'm actually going to go back to their depth chart here really quick because I really, really like Navy's linebackers. So we want to keep... It's all going to be more personnel-based than anything else. With Navy specifically, their left outside is not great, but thanks to a comment from one of you guys, we're going to make sure we've got this McShan in here. So we'll have 88 speed. It's not the best overall, but very fast. Middle linebacker, 82 speed, 70 overall. I mean, speed is going to be your king here, pretty much. And then right outside linebacker, Ramos, my boy. I love Ramos. So those are going to be our 3 linebackers on the field. We want to make sure those 3 are on the field as much as possible. And because we don't have the best defensive line. So like if you go back and watch the campus tour where I was Tennessee, I was calling a lot more dime because they have 4 very good defensive linemen. We wanted to make sure they're on the field. So make sure you're going over your depth chart, looking where your best players are, and that they're on the field as much as possible. So for us, it's 3-3 stack. I have loved this defense so much. The first thing we want to do is you come in here and then take your right stick. So right on the bottom, it's going to be hard to see here, but the second to the last thing on the bottom right says shell default is what it says right now. We are going to switch that to be shell cover 2. So you just hit right on the right stick 3 times, get you in a cover 2 shell. So now no matter what play we call, it's going to come out and look the same. Who was it we were playing against? I can't remember. It might have been Tennessee again, where we were always in a cover 2 shell, and they would come out and try to identify the defense by looking at the safeties. They would identify it as cover 2. We were actually in a cover 3, and it's not good. Don't rely on that. Now, the play we come out in all the time, if you can't tell by 426 calls, cover 3 drop. Now, coach adjustments coming out, I do nothing. I don't change a single thing here on coach adjustments. I just let it rock as is. So we're going to come out and cover 3 drop. We'll just do... I don't really want to go against Flexbone in this. We'll have them come out in just a random shotgun play. Okay. So this is how just our base defense is set up. So what I like to do, it helps against the run, I think, more than it's helped me against the run. I can't guarantee. This is all just from my experience, my opinion. I don't know how much of this is actually accurate. So we pinch our line. So left on the D-pad, down on the D-pad. Spread our linebackers, right on the D-pad, up on the D-pad. So that's our basic defensive setup. So the way this is right now, this safety up here with the C above his head is going to be in the flat on the left. This nickel corner is going to be on the flat on the right. And then both of our other linebackers on the field here are in hook curls. So that whole area of the field is going to be pretty well covered. Cover 3, we got to worry about corner routes a lot, but this is what I like so much about this play. We only have 3 people rushing, which isn't great. But that gives our user a lot of freedom on where we want to go. So it's a lot of play recognition, knowing where the openings are, and trying your best to get your user there. I'm horrible at user tackling and swatting and catching interceptions, but I think my user coverage is pretty good. So the other thing we can do here, because we're only rushing 3. Now this, if you like to switch stick around, do not do this because you can't switch stick if you blitz your user. So, but if you hit A and then down on the right stick, so now your user is blitzing, get him in a position down here where he's got those blue dots lit above his head. And this is a Madden thing. I'm assuming is still the same. I haven't been able to confirm or deny this. If anybody knows for sure, please let me know. But this will help that 3-man pass rush get in, because this kind of fools the offensive line into thinking there are 4 rushers and they don't really follow their assignments quite as well. So this is the basic setup I will use. 3-3 stack, cover 3 drop, blitz your user, and that's really it. Pinch your line, spread your linebackers. That's pretty much all we're going to do. And then in terms of where I put my user, it's pretty much always going to be above their halfback. So in an instance like that, I can try to get in and make a play on the run. But that's really it. It's just left on the D-pad, down on the D-pad, right on the D-pad, up on the D-pad, A, down on the right stick. That's really it for my basic adjustments, and I got a little too close that time. So this is the defense I will come out in all the time, pretty much, if I have it available. Campus tour, of course, I don't always have the best playbooks available. Until they start beating it. See, my user tackling is so pathetic. It's so bad. The only changes I would potentially make here we can do choose a new play, just get back to our coaching adjustments. So if they're really killing you on corner routes, there's two things we can do. You can go into your coach adjustments and change your curl flats. So it depends what depth they're throwing. If they're throwing them at 20 yards, fine. We'll just do this just for an example. We'll set it to 20 yards, right? And then we'll still come out and cover 3 drop. And we'll still do random gun on offense. Okay. So now these purple zones, they're going to stay at 20 yards. So this safety, he's going to drop back to about the 10-yard line. This slot corner on the left is going to try to get back to the 10-yard line. What I would like to do here is I would keep our safety in that curl flat, that 20-yard curl flat. I would probably put our nickel corner in a hard flat, and then I would kind of go try to fill out the gap in between, or you could even put this other outside linebacker in a curl flat. So this is a Mabel defense, if you're not familiar with that term. We have a hard flat, a 20-yard flat, and a deep zone. So that whole sideline is pretty well covered. So then I just have to take this area of the field, right? Or if you don't want to do that, you could keep him in a hook curl, and then you kind of have to go watch this a little bit. But it really depends on who you're playing and what they like to do. But watch that safety on the top right. See, he backs up. He's not going down to his flat that time. He actually took the snap and backed up to get to the 10-yard line. So zone drops are definitely a good way to adjust to what your opponent is doing. And so the other play we like to call out of here, if they're having some success against our cover 3 drop, finding the weaknesses in that, we go to cover 4 quarters. This is why we like to switch our shell. They won't be able to tell the difference if we're in cover 3 or cover 4. Cover 4 quarters with match. So let's just put them random gun again. So, but this is all going to set up the same. So it's going to be match coverage. So if they stay in the zones these guys are assigned to, they almost play it like man coverage. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not the expert in match coverage at all. Like, not in the slightest. But I do really like it. I want to figure out more about it. I only really ran this in Madden like a couple months ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it is very, very good. This, if you're struggling on defense, and you're just keep giving up bombs and you're just getting picked apart, call cover 4 match coverage. Make sure says match up on the top here. I'll show you again. So go back to choose new play, because there are different versions of cover 4. Some are match, some are just zone. So you see this cover 4 quarters on the right. It's got that purple match up on the top left, versus that one's also match, cover 4 drop. That one's just regular zone. I think match is going to work a lot better for most people. You really don't have to do anything in terms of adjustments. I wouldn't recommend, if you're struggling on defense, I wouldn't recommend doing anything except pinch your line, spread your linebackers. So when it comes to who you user, that's going to depend on your opponent and kind of what they're doing, because Ramos here is in a QB spy. So if your computer's running a lot, or your opponent is running a lot, you can get on Jacob here instead, whoever's on the 3-rec hook. In this instance, I'm just going to stay on Ramos because I love my Ramos boy. So now, how this is going to work, okay? Match coverage. I'm going to explain it the best I can. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the expert in it, but I have a somewhat of an understanding on it. So these outside corners in those deep zones, right, our far right and our far left cornerbacks are going to match on the outside wide receivers. If they go deep, they are going to play it almost like man coverage, right? The purple zones, they will stick, so the slot corner is going to match with this guy, right? Unless he gets past his quarter flat. So if he gets to about the 15 here, then he will drop off. So what would kill us on cover 4 in this instance, so if his slot receiver does go deep, and then he has this tight end on a drag, right? So he's going to be attacking this part of the field. This corner is going to be going with this receiver. This corner is me going with this receiver down to about the 15. This is going to be wide open. So that's something we'd have to watch here. That's kind of why I like going on the spy too, because then everybody else kind of stays in their zones. So this is just a great coverage defense. See, he's got just nothing open here. Just nothing open there. See, that deep safety, he's not really responsible for anybody in these formations they're coming out in. So they kind of just wait until somebody comes towards their zone, and then they can just make breaks on the ball. So it's really hard to to do a lot against this coverage unless of course there are people that know how to just bomb match coverage. Of course there are. But most people you're playing online will really struggle against this defense, especially if they're used to seeing you be in cover 3, they've had success in cover 3. Then all of a sudden you hit them. My God, my user is terrible. And then you hit them with some cover 4 match, mix up between those two coverages, and that's what I do on defense. You can see with Navy, our defense plays pretty dang well, so that's what I recommend you guys all try too. Once again, I will plug it again because it's new and I want to get it going. Twitch.tv/oldmantrying28 every Thursday at 5 p.m. Central. I'm going to try to start doing Saturdays around 3 p.m. Central. I can't promise that one though. It all kind of depends on other things going on. But that's going to be the plan. If you want to see this in action, head on over there, give me a follow, and I will see you guys there this coming Thursday. So I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, take it easy.